this to everyone who is not here. Okay, awesome. First, let's talk about this expression. When you see get things done. Get things done. So a lot of people, there's an interesting expression, get things done. What does it relate to?
Results.
Results. Okay, good. You want to tell us more about it, Enrico? So get things done.
Goal.
Goals, yeah, results, goals, okay.
KPIs.
KPIs, okay, that can be KPIs, okay. Yeah.
Tasks or to-dos.
Exactly, tasks. Good.
I mean, the first word would be like productivity.
Productivity. That's a great word. That is when you say, when you talk about getting things done, you're talking about being productive. Yeah.
Right.
And doing a lot of, getting your to-dos, getting all your to-do lists taken care of. That's it. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. Now, what do you call this, the date and the time by which you need to do something when something is due?
Deadline.
Due date.
The due date, yeah, you could say a due date or the deadline, which is...
Or expiration date.
Which one?
Expiration date.
The expiration date could be, yeah, like a product
For
with an expiration date, yeah. Yeah. But when it's like with tasks or projects or assignments, then we do a deadline, which is an interesting expression. So the first activity we're going to talk about, we're going to find some expressions that use deadlines. Actually, before we do that, before we look at the expression, let's look at some collocations. This is important because collocations are combinations of words that go together, that typically go together. Okay, so here we have a deadline. So sometimes deadline is like a noun, but what verbs can go with it? So it can be words that go before, or words that go after, that are used in combination with deadline. Yes, maybe let's first let's welcome Geoffrey. Hi, Geoffrey, welcome.
Hello.
Yes,
Okay.
How are you today?
Fine. Sorry for my late.
No, it's okay. It's okay, no worries. We started talking about deadlines. So what we're gonna go around and see what what verbs can go with deadline. Okay, so let's start. Maybe Stefan.
Words describing a deadline or
words that you use with deadline. So
yes.
Deadline or
I have to finish my homework until Friday next week.
Okay, but let's see. Maybe words that go with deadline. Now, is it for example,
Deadline.
Or strict.
Strict deadlines. Okay, yeah, strict deadlines. Good. Strict deadlines. Okay, good, Enrico. Okay. Maybe Ferry, any ideas?
Before deadline.
Before the deadline. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Geoffrey?
Sorry, I'm not sure about what I have to say about deadline.
Just words that go with it.
Okay.
Like
so maybe focus on.
Focus on the deadline. Yeah. I mean, you can focus on the deadline. Okay, that. Now, Martin.
I have no idea. I was thinking post deadline, but not really.
Okay, well, maybe post deadline, I mean.
Like
that's
after.
like after, yeah, you could say post deadline, you could say that. Post let, okay, good, and Pavel, maybe,
This project have to be on the line, have to be done on the line.
okay, you maybe say by the deadline, you say, or maybe by, you know, the deadline. No, okay, maybe by the deadline, meaning before, by the. Okay, good. So these are some. Now I'm going to show you the best ones. The best ones are here. You're going to oh, let's see. Here. Okay. So of course, you know, everybody knows these words, deadline. Okay. But sometimes we don't know, you know, what verbs to use with it, right? Is it give a deadline, take a deadline, make a deadline, you know? How do you use it? So here we have these, you know, these opinions. Okay. Here, our first task would be to read one and one. So one partner reads one, the next partner reads the other. Find the expressions that go with deadline. Okay. So, you know, what verb is it? Okay. So what expressions do you see with deadline? Okay. And yeah, you know, try to see what they mean. Okay, and maybe try to use them. Okay. And then once you're done with this, with all of them, which ones of the opinions here, you know, do you agree with? Or which one reflects your approach to deadlines? Okay. So very simple, just look at the expressions that go with deadlines, is use them, explain them, and which opinion do you agree with? Okay, so I'll be helping you out here. Okay, and Jeffrey, if you need the PDF, it's in the chat.
Yep.
Okay, okay, and then join your partner. Join your partner here for this activity. Okay, so there you go.
I absolutely thrive on deadlines. I mean, it's like a rush of adrenaline running through my veins. The pressure, the urgency, it's also invigorating. When I know there is a deadline looming, I become laser focused and hyper productive.
And so this one not thrive, but thrive.
Thrive. Okay.
Good, good, and laser focused. Okay, so Enrico, what expressions do you see here with the word deadline?
Thrive on deadlines.
Yeah. So what do you think it means to thrive on deadlines?
It means that you are happy if you work with deadlines.
That's right. Yeah, they push you, they make you okay. Yeah, exactly. They you do well.
Encourage.
Exactly. They encourage you, they help you become successful. Good. And Martin, another expression with deadline.
Deadline looming.
Yes. What do you
So
think that
when the
means?
deadline is nearby, it's coming, like it's soon.
It's soon. Exactly. The deadline is looming, right? Okay. Perfect. 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 Okay. Great. So just continue doing that. Okay. When you're done, you can see if you can use this. So for example, you can tell someone, oh, you know, the deadline for the project is looming. Have you started working on it? Have you started, are you almost finished? Because the deadline's looming and we don't have much time. You see, it means the deadline is coming up. It's soon. It will soon be here. Okay, but do the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So next one, Enrico, you can continue.
Okay.
Mm,
Recognize that keeping up with deadlines requires discipline and effective time management. It also helps maintain a sense of professionalism. So to meet a deadline is the first one.
What do you think it means to meet a deadline?
To finish by the deadline.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we use, instead of finish by, we say meet the deadline.
Mhm.
Great. That's okay.
Yeah.
And then Stefan, you want to do the next one?
Yes, as the next sentence from
Actually,
C.
the next expression. The next expression with deadline.
Yeah, this is keeping up with deadlines. That's the handling deadlines, or yeah, how you handle this, how you manage this to fulfill them.
Exactly. Keeping up with deadlines. Perfect. Okay. Great. And maybe Ferry, do you want to use one of these sentences and like with your own examples?
Okay. Okay, so maybe my team was working hard to finish a software product, but I know the deadline is looming.
The deadline's looming. Exactly. Deadline is coming. It's coming up soon. Good. Yeah, that's a good example. And Stefan?
Yeah, to create high quality work, it's necessary to define deadlines, or to have to choose one of these to yeah.
So that one might be the next one, actually. Have you done D yet?
No, we haven't done.
Okay, so you'll see it. You'll see that expression in D.
Okay. Yeah, no, not extending. Setting deadlines, yes, of course. Thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, to follow, or to have the whole sentence to fulfill, no, to have producing high quality work, it's necessary to set the deadline, a binding deadline.
Exactly. That's right. You got to set the deadline. That is an important, very, very important. Awesome. Great. So continue talking. Maybe you can do D, and then you can talk about which opinion you agree with the most.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, the second person don't like deadlines because he feel anxiety and stressful, and he don't have energy for the work, and he
How about he
feel
don't?
fear.
Not he don't, but
He doesn't
Yes.
energy, and he feel fear of failure. Yes, but that's not my case. I am more like A, the person A.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, great. Great. And you, Geoffrey, what about you?
In fact, what I was trying to explain is I think I'm between A and B, because I like the idea behind A, but I agree with B about anxiety and stress, and we need to find a good balance between, I don't know, maybe our work and our life.
Right.
So, but yes, it's true that when a deadline looming, that it generates something in your mind, and it increase your production. Yes, it's right. I agree with that.
Great. And production, you say maybe productivity is better.
Yeah, productivity.
Great, great, awesome. And do you want, we have about 1 minute here. Do you want to maybe try one of the expressions, Pavel? Maybe set deadlines or keeping up with deadlines or meeting deadline?
It's very important to have deadlines because it's some kind of pressure to you or your team, and it's how you can manage a lot of project in time, in budget, and I think it's very important that if you every my project and clients have a deadlines, and my focus is to stimulate the team how to don't be under pressure and make things in time.
Good, good, good. So remember, instead of have deadlines, you can say set. Set deadline is to put it.
Okay.
Right? And then if you meet the deadline, you do it on time. Okay, everyone, very good. So,
Just a question.
yeah, Geoffrey, question?
Just a question. You said set a deadline. But when you say that, it's like you create the deadline, right?
Create it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's why I wanted to go over the vocabulary, because there's some very specific expressions that we use. Of course, you could say, people understand and say, oh, I have a deadline, that's okay. But have is very general. It's like, did you create it or are you following it?
Okay.
So that's why we put set, you set it, you tell everyone, this is the deadline, so you set the deadline. But then you meet the deadline if somebody had the deadline for you and you met it. Basically, you did what you needed to do before the deadline. Okay, you met it. Good. So here, let's do this. Okay, here, let's choose one of these. Okay, one of these expressions, and give us an example of it. Okay, so maybe let's start with Pavel. You can choose which one you want, your favorite one.
Oh, it's A, because I feel like a similar person who likes deadlines. And what I have to do now?
Just use, maybe choose one of the expressions that has the word deadline.
Okay, pressure.
Okay, well, pressure, but let's see, maybe here. Look at, so deadline is here and deadline is here. So what expressions, what words go with deadline?
Okay.
I don't know what I have to do. Try.
Thrive on or deadline looming. Can you use
Okay.
this in an expression, in a sentence?
The people likes deadline, or
Yeah, this person likes deadlines. Exactly. Okay, very good. Well, let's see, maybe Geoffrey, you can try.
To meet deadline.
Meet a deadline. Okay, can you use it in a sentence?
I don't know, maybe in order to meet deadline for a task at my work, I need to finish this task tomorrow.
Exactly. It's important to meet deadlines at work. Good. Awesome. And Martin, you want to try it?
I'll take the deadline looming. Did we do that already?
No, you could do it.
No? Okay. We were talking about it in our group, but it's basically a deadline coming up, like some deadline that is coming soon. Yeah.
A deadline looming. Exactly. There's a deadline. For example, you could say,
So like a deadline looming is the best motivation I can wish for, or something like that.
Exactly. Or when there's a deadline looming, I often work harder. Right. So good. And Stefan, another example.
Setting deadlines is important to finish tasks in a reasonable time.
Okay, very good. So maybe you can use maybe one of the expressions. So you say keeping up with deadlines, You can talk about dreading deadlines. The important thing is to use the specific words.
Yes, setting deadlines. So
Oh, setting,
I've chosen D. Yeah.
Okay, I see setting. I didn't catch. Okay, good. So setting deadlines is important. Perfect. Okay, and let's see. Very good, Stefan and Enrico.
Keeping up with deadlines.
Mhm. So
Keeping up with deadlines, it's a good way to manage the activities and focus on the goals.
Exactly. Yeah, so keeping up with deadlines is managing all the deadlines that you have, right? So it's very, very important. Okay, great. And Barry.
Yes, so for example, my manager doesn't mind to extend the deadlines because sometimes it has some dependency on others' tasks.
Good. Exactly. It depends on the tasks. Perfect. Okay. So these are the ones, right? Okay, to thrive on. Okay, to what does it mean to thrive on? You thrive on deadlines.
It helps you.
It helps you. Exactly. It helps you become successful. Very good. So, for example, Pavel, do you thrive on deadlines?
Yeah, it helps me.
Nice.
Is it also then like you enjoy it if you thrive on something?
You can enjoy.
Like, do we know it from the context?
Well, I mean, to thrive just means to become very successful, right?
Okay.
So thrive on. But here it looks like it's enjoyable because it's, the adrenaline and the urgency. It's invigorating and makes you powerful.
Okay.
So it's that feeling, right? And okay, now this deadline looming, it's when it's coming up. In basic English, it's like, oh, the deadline is coming up. But in modern business English, we say it's looming. The deadline is looming. It is soon, very soon. Okay, to dread deadlines. Okay, to be, to dislike them, to hate them actually, more than that. Okay, good. And then you set the deadline, you meet the deadline, you keep up with it, or you extend it. So we're going to talk about this later on. Okay, but these are the expressions with this. Okay, so here we can do this one maybe together. Okay, and then we can do the conversation. That's probably the best way. So here, basically we'll go around and then you can read the sentence and just tell me what set out means. Okay, or what breakdown means. Okay, and the definitions are down here. Okay, so maybe Ferry, maybe you can start. Okay.
Okay. So when you set out to complete a task at hand, do you prefer to?
So what do you think set out means?
Okay. 5, maybe. Things that encourage you to do something.
There's a better one. You set out means you begin doing something,
6, start an activity with particular aim.
Exactly. So you set out means you start an activity. Okay, good. Enrico. Okay, next one, breakdown.
Break down the task into smaller subtasks.
Good. So what does
divide into or more parts?
Great. Yeah, you break it down, you divide it. Good. Break down. Okay, fantastic. Stefan, maybe you can do the next one.
When working on a deadline, a as part of a team, would you rather check in on someone else's progress?
So to check in on, sorry.
Check-in could be it's on the progress, so I would choose 8.
Exactly. Good. Yeah, you check in on someone. You see how they're doing. Like, hey, I'm checking in on you. I'm have you started? How are you finished? What's the status? Okay, that is to check in on. Great. Next one, Martin.
Incentives to complete the task faster.
Exactly. So
So that's 5. Things that encourage you to do things that encourage you to do something.
yeah, incentives, exactly. So people in sales, for example, they get bonuses or commissions. That's an incentive, a financial incentive, but you can win prizes, you can do get some other incentives. Okay.
Can it also be some form of encouragement, or does it count?
Yeah, it can be prizes, encouragement, something that motivates you, that pushes you to do something. Great. And Geoffrey.
Yes. What approach do you typically take when the task is due in a few days?
Yes.
Be expected to happen at a particular time?
Exactly. Yeah, when something is due, that's the deadline, right? So due. Okay, fantastic, very good. Okay, so let's keep here. Maybe Pavel. We can go here and sorry. Let's see. Yeah, stay on top.
How do you prefer to stay on top of your schedule when working on multiple tasks with deadlines?
Okay.
It's 7 things that need to be done.
Okay, to stay on top. To stay on top of something. You stay on top of something, you follow it, you check it. You are
Remain on control.
exactly. Yeah. So if you stay on top of something, you remain in control. Okay. Stay on top. Okay. Stay on top of something, you are in control. Okay. Perfect. Let's see. And back to okay. Let's see, back to Ferry.
Okay, when managing your schedule, do you block out specific time slot for each task or deadline?
Okay.
And
So what is block out?
things that need to be done.
Block out? No.
No.
You block out, okay, so your calendar, you block this time out.
Oh yes, the arrange to have time in advance.
Exactly. Yeah, you block out a part of your calendar, means you say this time I'm not available. I'm blocking it out for something. Okay, great. And the last one, maybe Martin. Actually, it's this one, loose ends. Oh, I don't think we can hear you, Martin.
Is it better?
Yeah, good.
Cool. Okay, so loose ends. Yeah. Remain in control of something.
So I use a digital calendar or scheduling app to make sure I have no loose ends. I use a calendar to make sure I don't. Let's see.
Like screw something, but I don't see
Yeah.
it there.
Yeah, it can be yeah, things that need to be done. Loose ends, yeah. Loose ends are things that are still not finished.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, it's not the best definition, but it's okay. Things that need to be done, these are the loose ends. You haven't done, they're not
Yeah, it
finished.
needs to be done. Yeah.
Exactly. Good, good, good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use these, now that you know what they mean, we're going to use them in a conversation. And the way it works, you'll just ask your partner, okay, just read, okay, when you set out to complete a task at hand, do you prefer to deal with the task at once, meaning do everything, or break it down into smaller subtasks, right? And then try to use set out and break down. Okay, this is, for example, if, let's say cleaning the house, that's an easy example. So you have to clean the whole house. Some people want to spend 12 hours on Saturday and clean everything. Some people like to break it down and do 2 hours on Monday, 1 hour on Tuesday, and so that's what it means. Okay. So join your next partner for this discussion. Okay. And great. So join your partner. Right, guys. Good. So let's see, maybe Ferry, do you want to ask Martin the first question?
Sure. So when you set out to complete the task at hand, do you prefer to deal with the entire task at once or break down the task into smaller subtasks?
I think from my experience, I prefer to do it all at once. I'm not good at doing it in like smaller parts. Like for example, when I was doing a school project, like an exam paper, I was told like to break it down and do all these steps, but I just like did it all at once. Like
Really?
I went from scratch and just went with the flow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
It isn't necessarily good because I always get the feedback that there's not really like one string, like one like certain flow. Like
Right.
it isn't as comprehensible sometimes, but yeah. I mean, it's about passing, so I'm not that much worried about that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, but the problem is that, well, later on, you'll see when you get into business, and sometimes you have really big ones, like start a company. So there's like 1,000 different steps.
Right.
So that's where you're like, okay, start a company. Okay, what do I do first? Okay, you break it down first, get the legal side, then get the team. Even getting the team might take a few months or a few weeks.
Yeah, you can do it in one day.
So you see, but yeah, it's good to have that, to get to know kind of your psychology behind that. And what about you, Ferry? How do you think about this?
Yeah. So right now in my company, we are following the agile model, and we are always trying to break down the task into smaller pieces, because some projects might take 2 months, and it's very difficult if only one person is working on the project, because there's too many things to follow up. So we always try to break it down to smaller tasks. It's easier to track the progress of others, and it's of course easier to hand over the smaller task. Yeah, and I like it. I prefer this way, and it's easier for us to handle a smaller task.
Well, it's good it's easier for the mind, right? Less stress, but it's
Yes.
also more digestible. You can digest it. It's like, okay, I need to do this. It'll take me 2-3 hours. Then You know, that's my task for today. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Great, great. So continue discussing the other questions. Very good. Good job here.
To give something out of box,
Okay,
and I focus to this.
okay.
Nice.
What approach do you typically take when a task is due in a few days?
Yeah. So Enrico, do you complete the task slightly ahead? Meaning, do you finish it, you know, before the deadline, like maybe 1 or 2 days before the deadline, or do you submit it on the deadline?
But based on my experience, it depends on the activities on the project. But if I am able to light ahead of the deadline, I prefer this approach.
I see. You prefer, turning in before, ahead of time. That's good. What about you, Pavel? Do you like to complete the task ahead of the deadline or on the deadline?
I prefer ahead of the deadline because it's kind of professionalism, but we have some so close cooperation with some companies, and we are just on the deadline because we couldn't be before because it's not possible.
Yeah, it's hard to meet deadlines. And how often do you have to extend deadlines, Pavel?
Sometimes, and I don't like it. It's a problem. You have to negotiate, or because another teams are connect to you, and if we are not on the deadline, that teams have to prepare the new schedule, and it's make the time, and time is expensive.
Right.
So you broke the chain.
One quick question. So instead of saying we are not on the deadline, if we don't meet the deadline.
Okay.
Don't meet the deadline. Good. And Enrico, what were you going to say?
No, I just say that sometimes you can break the chain.
It's a chain.
Yeah.
You see, but sometimes, like you were saying, sometimes it's so many things happen, so many moving parts that, sometimes we forget that we're humans and that we're not machines, and people are like, oh no, it has to be on the deadline. But, a little bit of flexibility is also nice.
And if you do some very important project, you have to count with the extra time.
Of course. And some good project managers always plan that in. So they have a deadline for the client, and then they have a deadline for the team.
Yes.
And then like that, that's smart. It's smart to plan ahead. Good. So continue the discussion here for a few more minutes.
For me, it's good. I need to have my task visible, and that's what all these electronic helpers can do, and then to define priorities. So it's not good to focus on memory and general sense, because then I lose some tasks, and I'm not focused enough. So I would choose one.
I see. Okay. Digital calendar. Great. And do you just use like a Google Calendar, or do you have a specific method, or do you write it down? How do you manage it? How do you stay on top of it?
Yeah, of course, we have a lot of task boards in Jira and Confluence and all other tools. But normally on a busy day, I prefer in the morning to have, you can't do all of them in one day. So I have to choose a few of them. And I prefer to have a piece of paper, and then I write down all the things I want to do today. And normally these are too much, so I have to prioritize in a second go down, and that's what. In the end of the day, all of them should be done. That's
Great. Just remember, Stefan, prioritize.
prioritize. Thank
Yeah,
you.
great, awesome. And Geoffrey, what about you? How do you stay on top of the things you have to do?
Okay. So for my part, I like using Google Agenda or Google Calendar, just to organize my task. And when I want to prioritize them, at work I have a lot of tools like Jira, but I'm using some similar tool in my personal life, like Trello. It's a task board. So I create 3 columns, like to do, doing, done, and then this way I have a good visibility of what I have to do, which tasks are completed.
Great. Yeah. So it's always better to have it, somewhere, right? Not rely on our memory. Great,
Yeah.
great, perfect. And maybe Geoffrey, you can ask the next question.
Yep. So Stefan, how do you prefer to stay on top for schedule when working on multiple tasks with deadline? Option 1, I use a digital calendar or scheduling app to make sure I have no loose ends, or I rely on my memory and general sense of time management.
Yeah, that's the one we have discussed. So I choose one because I also like this, these tools and to have a focus and prioritization. Yeah.
Exactly. It's good to prioritize. Good.
Prioritize. Yeah.
Also great. And maybe Stefan, you can ask the last one if you want.
Yep. Geoffrey, when managing your schedule, do you block out specific time slots for each task or deadline, or tackle tasks and deadlines as they come without strictly blocking out time?
No, I prefer. No, sorry, I prefer the option 1. So I like to define a specific time slot for each task, especially when there is some task to do with other people. So it's better
So you
that
block
way.
it out completely.
Yeah.
And do you block out like parts of your day automatically? Like let's say, 9 to 10 is only email time, 10 to 11 is planning, or
Oh yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah, not always. So I have some like you said, so some time slot defined in my mind, but of course I can tackle task if I have to help someone on something more important. So yeah, I can adapt my board, of course.
Okay, great. And Stefan, what about you? Do you block out specific times, time slots on your calendar?
Yeah, I do that on a regular basis because then I have blocks where I have time to finish tasks, and that's what is necessary, because otherwise you have to do it by the end of the day or over weekend, and it's not a good idea.
All right. Yeah, exactly. And what approach do you block out times depending, like every day you see what block, or do you have it strict, like I said earlier, for specific general tasks? Like let's say email in the morning, customer meetings in the afternoon.
No, but normally I have Friday, which is my home office day, and then I block and
So let's see. So Stefan, you're saying that you on Friday, it's a home office day and you block out some time slots?
yes, to finish the tasks and to have time to finish them or to tackle them. Yes.
Exactly. That's a great expression. Tackle tasks means, do them. But of course, it's more advanced and more native, more you tackle tasks. Good. So let's have a couple of people share some ideas. So let's see, maybe Pavel, tell us what did you talk about with Enrico?
I'm still beginning. Okay. Oh, we talk about the fires in Italy and horrors. And okay, we talked about the tasks, and we both prefer to split the task to smaller tasks and be before the due day. It's better and check the people and their progress. It's very important. Yes.
Yeah, so breaking down, you like to break down the tasks and check in on people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great. And Martin.
Yeah, we were talking with Ferry about our time management and task management, and we both were talking and agreed that we use our memory for task management, and basically when the task is important, you think about it and you know what you have to do. And in Ferry's case, he has like a big task every 2 weeks, so he knows what he needs to do, and he doesn't need like a calendar or some like planner.
Yeah, it just depends. Yeah, that's true. It depends on the nature of your work. A lot of people have a lot of moving parts, so they do need reminders and they do need to put it in their calendar. Okay, but Ferry has one big task every 2 weeks, so that's good. Okay, great. So what we're gonna move over to the video. Okay, so here we're gonna watch about 1.5 minutes, and we're going to check out these. So we're going to watch a video about an anti-procrastination cafe in Japan. Right. So we're going to discuss these questions. Okay. And then we're going to watch the video. Okay. And we're going to see. So let's see. Stefan, can you read A?
What are the main rules for the visitors?
Great. And Geoffrey?
How can staff get involved in helping the visitors?
Exactly. It's the staff, the employees. How can they get involved? How can they help the visitors? Okay, very good. And let's see, Ferry?
What food and drinks are available for the visitors?
Exactly. And Enrico?
How effectively does the cafe help its visitors meet their goals?
Exactly. Good. So you're going to see this, and then you're going to talk about, discuss the answers with your partner. Okay.
This is the world's first anti-procrastination cafe. This is the world's first anti-procrastination cafe. And of course, it's in Japan. All of the coolest stuff is in Japan. In this cafe, once you enter, you aren't allowed to leave until all your work is done. You write out all of your goals for the evening and choose one of 3 difficulty levels. Level 1 is a verbal confirmation with the staff upon leaving that you completed everything you set out to do. So it's pretty simple, and honestly, it seems quite easy to get out of doing the work in this one. You can just lie whenever you're leaving, just lie to the staff, like, yeah, I got my work done. That's by design, though. This is the easiest difficulty. Level 2, which is normal difficulty, sees a staff member check in on you every hour. And finally, level 3, the hardest difficulty, has staff members frequently standing directly behind you and applying pressure. That one seems a little excessive, but hey, I mean, if you've got a deadline for tomorrow and you work well under pressure, you got to do what you got to do. Customers pay around about 85p or a little over $1 every 30 minutes. And with that, they get Wi-Fi and charging ports for their laptops. Interestingly, though, there are no food products to buy at all. The only beverages are self-serve tea and coffee that come at no extra charge, which you might really need because the owner is so committed to you finishing your work that he will keep you there even if it means staying past cafe opening hours. But apparently the people of Tokyo really love this place, and it's incredibly effective at helping them achieve their goals. Could this really be the answer to the world's procrastination problem? I'll just have to see for myself.
Good. So discuss these, yeah, this place, right? You know, it's very, very controversial. You know, some people love it, some people hate it, but yeah. So you can discuss your opinions and also go over the questions from the PDF. Okay, and let's see here, and perfect. And very, and good, good, perfect. So join your partner.
Okay. What are the main rules for the visitors? I think it's the choose the model of the cooperation, A, B, or C,
Right.
and pay every 30 minutes less than $1
Yeah.
and do their tasks.
That's true. That's true. And Mark, what about B?
Yeah, I saw this, I think, in a YouTube short, like maybe 2 months ago, about this cafe that exists. And I've heard that it's in Japan. But I think, yeah, it kind of helps that the staff is involved and puts the pressure. I mean, that's why people go there, to get the pressure from others.
And
to
how
finish the
how do
tasks.
they put pressure on the
I
visitor?
mean, if you choose the A model, not really. You just confirm. Then with the B, they check in on you with like the staff members every 1 hour. And then if you choose the C, they come like regularly and stand behind your back and keep watch.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Awesome. And so continue, Pavel, you can do the next one.
Okay, what food and drinks are available?
The rules are when you arrive at the cafe, you have to write down your goals for the day and then give this paper to the staff of the cafe. Then you can't buy product, food or something else, and also staff comes to you to see if you are on time with your goals.
Right. Good, good, good. Awesome, very good, Enrico. And so maybe Stefan, how specific, how does the staff, check in on you?
Yeah, I understood that you have 3 different levels to choose. First one is just they ask you if you are finished or not, and then you also, of course, you have the possibility to lie or say the truth. But the second one, I haven't catched that exactly, but the third one would be that I stand by your side and always looking if you are finished or not. And the second one should be or could be something in the middle, but I haven't catched that exactly.
Yeah. So basically, well, did you catch it, Enrico? The second option? The
No.
first option is you just say, "Oh, I finished" at the end.
Okay.
The second option is they check in on you once an hour.
Okay.
Every hour they come and they check, "Hey, are you advancing? Are you, And then the third one, they're standing behind you. Like, making sure that you're not on, Instagram or wasting time, you see. So yeah, so those are the three options. Great, great, great. Also, so continue here about 1 more minute.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they also, okay.
But yeah, you're right. I think it's self-made, but I don't know if it's self-made or if you have to bring your own coffee. I think it's. I'm not sure about that.
Also, actually, it's self-serve.
Ah,
So
self-serve. Yes. Okay.
but it's no additional cost.
Okay.
So you just pay for the 30 minutes, and then you can drink as much coffee or as much tea as you want.
Okay.
And what is the staff doing?
They're just checking on you.
Okay.
Did you catch that? The 3 levels of how they check on you?
I think the first one was they will ask you every 1 hour what is your
That's the
progress.
second one.
Second one.
Yeah. The first one is just at the end. When you
You
leave,
need to finish the task.
yeah, when you leave, you tell them, "Oh, I finished." Oh, okay, it's okay. You can go.
Yeah.
And then what about the third one?
You need to talk.
Okay. So see, very good, everyone. Very, very good. So let's see, Ferry. Do you want to finish what you were saying about the third option?
I'm not sure about the third option, but they will ask you what is the progress or.
Yeah, that's the I guess that could be the first one. When you leave, they ask you and you say it. And then the second one, they check in on you every hour.
Okay.
Right. And then the third one, who knows what it is?
They stay behind you and make a pressure.
That's right. Stay behind you. Yeah.
Just do it.
That's right. So it's interesting, but apparently it's a thing and people like it. People like it, and so now we're going to watch maybe a couple more minutes and then before our last conversation. And he's going to check it out. He's going to check it out for himself.
Okay, so maybe I don't have the budget to just go to Japan and go to one of these actual anti-procrastination cafes. But what I'm going to do is experiment to see how this actually works. I went to my local cafe with an excessively long to-do list, and I was not going to leave until I completed everything. Let's see just how effective these anti-procrastination cafes really are. Okay, so I just got out of there. I actually got everything I wanted to get done to a really high quality, much faster than I thought it would. So I got done faster than I thought it would, and to a higher quality than I thought it would. Now, at this point, these cafes probably seem amazing, and you're probably wishing you had these in your local area. But there is a caveat here. You see, I've tried sitting down for other big work sessions before in other cafes and libraries, as I'm sure most of you watching have as well, but I wasn't nearly as productive. With the difference being, every time I've done it before, I was doing work that I just didn't care about. I just didn't naturally enjoy. Whereas this time it was something I was genuinely passionate about, YouTube. People are always looking for a quick fix and a hack for procrastination. I'm sure those things can work in the short term, but in the long term, you're always going to struggle if you don't actually enjoy your work at all. But hey, even the most passionate workers procrastinate sometimes, so these cafes are perfect if you're just looking for that little bit of extra incentive to meet the deadline. And who knows, maybe one day Tokyo won't be the only city to have their local anti-procrastination cafe.
Good. Okay, awesome. So here for our last conversation, okay, basically we will, we'll talk about this. Have you ever tried working from a cafe? So talk about that. Were you productive the way he was, where you go to a place and you just tell yourself, okay, I'm not going to leave until I'm done. Okay. Do you think this type of cafe would be popular in your city. Why not? Okay. If you were to visit such a cafe, what difficulty level would you choose? Number one, right, where you just say that you finished. Number two, they check every hour, they check in on you. Or number three, where they are looking over you, they're standing behind you and looking over you. Which one would you choose and why? And do you agree that our productivity depends on how passionate we are about the things we do? Right, that's what he said at the end. If you love doing it, then, you know, if you're passionate about it, then you can be productive. It's not hard to be productive if you love what you do. Okay, so that'll be our last one right here. Okay, and you can join your partner for this. Okay, and okay, good. Perfect. So you can join your partner for this.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Hmm?
Have you ever been in such a coffee?
Not really. The only place I tried, like for a study session, I tried a library like once. That was kind of okay. Like a study library where there were like 50 or 60 students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience. But for me, I would say the cafe is too crowded and too noisy.
I see. So you get distracted there.
Yeah, I would say so. But I guess I would have noise cancellation headphones, but still, there would be too much movement instead of people sitting.
I see. And Stefan, what about you? Have you ever tried working from a cafe, just a normal cafe?
Yeah, I've done that several times. Sometimes if I have a meeting or something like this and I have to wait until an hour or more, then I do this on a regular basis. But I also prefer quiet areas, and sometimes you have this in a cafe, but sometimes you haven't. And yeah, that's it's not easy.
Yeah, that's right. It's not easy. It's not easy. Now, maybe Stefan, you can ask the next question if you want.
Do you think an anti-procrastination cafe would be popular where you live? Why or why not?
I mean, in Denmark, I wouldn't say it would be that popular. I mean, people already love all these cafes and the libraries, so I wouldn't say so necessarily. I think the cafes and libraries have more style, more options to like eat. Maybe in the anti-procrastination cafe there wouldn't be like food, so it doesn't have like the environments.
Oh, I see.
Like, yeah, a nice environment as a library, for example.
I see. I see. And Stefan, what do you think? Do you think it would work in Switzerland?
I'm not sure. I would also, I think it's an interesting idea, and the concept is interesting, but yeah, I don't know if people like this kind of pressure. And yeah, you should be you should be enough confident to do that by your own or in another concept or context.
Right. You should be confident enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, and also in in the West in general, we love, freedom, right? We like to be
Right.
free, even if it sometimes doesn't help us, being free, doesn't help us. But yeah, we don't like this idea of people checking in on us and the employees being like, hey, you're wasting time. Get back to work,
For sure, that's like a parent-child relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can seem like that.
It is, but yeah, the concept is interesting, and apparently they're very successful, right?
Yeah, I
So
mean, for me, the pressure helps definitely. Like, when I had the pressure in primary and high school from the parents, I did well on the grades, but if they would have been here now, they would have had helped me like much more
Right.
and put the pressure. So that's like both good and bad thing.
Yeah. It's human nature.
Double-edged sword. Yeah.
Mm.
Like we say, we don't want, bosses and everything, but studies show that if you have a boss or someone that tells you, hey, come on, let's go, it helps. It definitely does take us to the next level. Okay, great. So continue discussing this while I check in on the other guys.
Maybe if there would be one, yeah, it could be interesting for the people, but if I imagine many cafe bars for this anti-procrastination activity, hard to say.
Yes, for example, in my opinion, I think that I don't know, it can't work in Italy because I don't know, maybe people want to be free to do their task without pressure, especially if they are spending time in a cafe and not in the office where there is your boss that say what you have to do. But a stranger that you say, come on, you have to do, I don't know, maybe it can't work in Italy.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting concept, but also a lot of people tried it in Japan, because it's like, it was like an interesting experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So for people, they're kind of be like, oh wow, it's new, it's cool, I'm gonna try it.
I think for the Japanese typical because they often work overtime.
Yeah.
So they're forced to work more and more.
Yeah, it's true. They're hard workers. It's true. Great. And so maybe if you were to visit such a cafe, which difficulty level would you choose? 1, 2, or 3? And why? If you were in Japan, you got a free visit there. What would you choose?
I think for the first time I would choose the first one to just say I completed the task and because I would be curious. I would be curious how the cafe looks like and so on. And as I said to Enrico, I cannot imagine myself working in a cafe because I need to have 2 monitors, external keyboard and mouse. So I cannot work with only one laptop and one screen in cafe. It's not possible for me.
Okay, and Enrico, what level would you choose?
But maybe the first one.
Also,
when I arrive and write my goals down on a paper, and then nothing else.
That's it. And then when you leave, you will just tell them that you finished.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Awesome. So about 1 more minute.
Okay.
It happens every time. It's really annoying. So it's like in France we say that's a white page problem, like a writer who wants to write a book and he's blocked at the beginning.
White page problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Just getting started is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And so Pavel, do you agree that productivity depends on how passionate you are?
Yes. I think it's the way how to be happy to have good work which you like. But we talk with Jeffrey. It's sometimes you have some task which you don't like in your love company or love work. It's normal, and is that the first white page problem, or
Right.
you have to start? Just do it.
Just do it. Good. And so Jeff, what's the solution? How can people stop this procrastination problem that everyone has nowadays?
It's a good question. Actually, I don't have the answer, or not the complete answer, but you need to. I agree with the passionate thing. You need to find something motivating for you. You need.
Yeah. So Geoffrey, do you want to say you need to find if you want to stop procrastinating, you need to find.
You need to find some motivation, and in fact, yes, I agree with the concept of the video. If you set up some deadlines, sometimes it helps, but I don't think we need to go especially in a specific place. You can do it in your home or in your work, at your home, yeah, it's my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just putting setting deadlines, but not just like the big ones, but like, oh, I'm gonna go to the cafe, I'm gonna work on it 1 hour, and then I'm done. Or just personal things work, but it's hard. It's hard because we live in a world where there are so many distractions, and it's so easy to procrastinate, right? So great lesson here. So I would recommend memorizing the expressions with deadline. Okay, because those are when I talk to business people, they all use different ones. Oh, we'll get to the deadline, but we don't say get to the deadline, or oh yeah, we'll take the deadline for tomorrow. But yeah, so meet the deadline, set the deadline, thrive on deadlines looming, right? All of these would be, a great thing to memorize. Okay, extended deadline. So, but yeah, other than that, I think we covered everything. So good job.
Me and Stefan figured out like a 4th level of the anti-procrastination cafe. Like, if there would be a person that didn't do his job, like no one would be allowed to leave. Like everyone would be there and would put the pressure on the last guy to finish.
That would be good for a team, right?
Yeah.
Team building.
I mean, it can be strangers. It doesn't have to be like a company.
Right. Yeah. That would be the next level. That would be the next level. That's a good idea. All right, everyone. Well, great lesson today, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Nice week.
Bye. Take care.